My child, you did not arrive here by accident. I see where you are. I see what you have been carrying, and I know what you have not understood. I see the place where your body is resting, but I also see the place where your heart has been standing for a long time, waiting for answers that did not come when you expected them. I see the quiet around you. I see the questions moving beneath the surface. I see the memories you have tried to organize, the conversations you have replayed, the doors you have stared at, wondering why they closed, why they delayed, why they changed, why they became silent when you were praying for clarity. This is not coincidence. This is not random timing. This is not just another message passing across your screen. You think you paused because something caught your attention, but I was the one who touched your attention. You think you came here because of a recommendation, a thought, a moment of curiosity, a sudden pull in your spirit that you could not fully explain. But I arranged the pause. I allowed the interruption. I placed a quiet weight on your heart and drew you into this moment because there is something I am ready to reveal to you, and there is something in you that is finally ready to receive it. Do not treat this as entertainment. This is not entertainment. This is encounter. This is not background noise for a distracted heart. This is a sacred appointment. I have been watching the way confusion has circled your thoughts. I have seen how many times you tried to be strong while still not understanding why certain things happened the way they did. I have seen you accept what you could not explain, but I also saw the ache that remained behind your acceptance. I saw the part of you that said, "I trust you," while another part of you whispered, "But I still do not understand." I was not offended by your questions. I was not distant from your confusion. I did not turn away when your faith trembled quietly. I heard the questions you never prayed out loud because you thought they sounded too heavy, too doubtful, too painful, or too honest. I heard the question beneath the question. I heard the fear beneath the silence. I heard the place in you that wondered if my delay meant denial, if my silence meant absence, if the hiddenness meant I had left you to interpret your pain alone. But my child, I was there. I was there when the answer did not come. I was there when you looked for a sign and felt as if the room stayed still. I was there when you tried to move forward, but a part of you kept returning to the same unanswered place. I was there when you smiled in front of others and carried unfinished pain behind your eyes. Not one moment was unseen. Not one tear was wasted. Not one delay was empty. Some answers were hidden, not because I wanted to hurt you, but because I was healing the part of you that would have been wounded by the truth too soon. Some things were not revealed immediately because your heart was still tender, still bleeding, still trying to survive what it had not yet processed. If I had shown you everything in the moment you demanded understanding, the answer might have become another burden instead of a release. I was not withholding love, I was protecting your heart. I was not keeping you in confusion forever. I was preparing you for clarity that would not destroy your peace. Now listen closely. The time has come for confusion to lose its power over you. The time has come for unanswered questions to be placed in divine order. The time has come for hidden preparation to begin making sense. You will see that what looked scattered was not outside my hand. You will see that what felt delayed was not forgotten. You will see that what seemed silent was speaking in ways your heart was not yet ready to recognize. Stay present with me. Do not rush past this moment. Breathe slowly. Let your shoulders soften. Let your heart come out of defense. If this word is meeting you where you are, like this video as an act of agreement, not for performance, but as a simple witness that your heart is open. Subscribe if you need steady reminders of my timing, my faithfulness, and my way of revealing what is hidden when the heart is ready. And type these words in the comments with faith. Father, reveal what my heart is ready to receive. Receive this now, my child. This is appointed. This is personal. This is the beginning of clarity. My child, I saw the questions you were afraid to say out loud. I saw the ones you buried under worship, under work, under routines, under the words, "I am fine," when you were not fine. I saw the questions that rose in you when the room became quiet and there was no one left to distract you from what still hurt. I saw you sitting alone, trying to make sense of what happened, trying to connect one moment to another, trying to understand why something that once felt certain became uncertain, why a door that seemed open suddenly closed, why people who once felt close became distant, why the prayers you prayed with tears seemed to echo back into silence. I heard you when you did not know how to pray. I heard you when your words stopped halfway because your heart was too tired to finish the sentence. I heard the sighs that came from a place deeper than language. I heard the quiet question beneath your breathing. Why did this happen? Why did they change? Why did I not see it sooner? Why did I have to wait so long? Why did I feel led if it was going to end this way? Why did heaven feel silent when I needed an answer? My child, I heard every one of those questions. Not one was lost. Not one was ignored. Not one was too honest for me to hold. I saw you replaying conversations in your mind, searching for the sentence where everything shifted. I saw you remembering the tone, the look, the pause, the unanswered message, the day the atmosphere changed and you could not explain why. I saw you asking yourself if you missed something, if you failed somewhere, if you trusted too much, if you hoped too deeply, if your faith made you foolish. I saw you carry blame that did not belong to you. I saw you wrestle with possibilities until your heart became exhausted. I was there. I was there in the silent room. I was there in the late night. I was there when your pillow held tears no one else saw. I was there when morning came and you had to get up with a heart that still had no answer. The pain was real. I will not call it small. I will not pretend it did not cut deeply. The silence felt heavy. The delay was hard. The confusion was not imaginary. There were moments when you tried to trust me and still felt afraid. There were moments when you wanted to believe I was working, but your circumstances looked unchanged. There were moments when you forced a smile in front of others because you did not have the strength to explain the ache again. I saw that smile. I saw the effort behind it. I saw the way you held yourself together in public and fell apart in private. I was there. But listen to me closely, my beloved child. Your confusion was not proof of abandonment. Your unanswered question was not evidence that I had turned away. The heaviness you felt did not mean heaven was empty. The delay did not mean I had forgotten what you asked me. The closed door did not mean I failed to hear your knock. The person who changed did not change my love for you. The silence you endured did not cancel my presence. You felt alone, but you were not alone. You felt overlooked, but you were not overlooked. You felt as if your questions were floating with nowhere to land, but I was holding them until the right time. I did not overlook what you asked. I preserved it. I held the question when you were too wounded to hold the answer. I guarded the truth when your heart was still too tender to receive it without turning it against yourself. There were answers that would have made you blame yourself too deeply if I had revealed them too soon. There were truths that would have turned into bitterness if they came before healing. There were details that would have stirred fear instead of freedom if I gave them to you while your identity was still trembling. So I waited. Not because I was careless, not because I was distant, not because your pain did not matter. I waited because you mattered. You wanted explanation, but I was first giving you strength. You wanted the full picture, but I was first restoring the eyes that would see it clearly. You wanted the reason, but I was first healing the wound that might have distorted the reason into rejection. My child, I know how a hurting heart hears truth. I know how pain can turn clarity into accusation. I know how confusion can make you assume you were not enough, not chosen enough, not wise enough, not loved enough. And I would not let the answer become another weapon against the child I came to heal. I saw the private moments when you questioned yourself more than the situation. I saw the way you wondered if you were being punished. I saw the way you searched your past for mistakes and called them reasons for my silence. I saw you thinking, maybe I missed my moment, maybe I ruined my chance, maybe God is tired of me asking. My child, no, I was not tired of you. I was not irritated by your tears. I was not offended by your need for understanding. I was near to you in the asking. I was near to you in the trembling. I was near to you when faith did not feel strong, but you kept turning your heart toward me anyway. And now I am bringing you gently into a deeper understanding. I am not doing it to reopen what I have been healing. I am doing it to settle what has been restless inside you. I am not dragging you backward. I am revealing what will help you walk forward. The questions you could not say out loud were never hidden from me. The confusion you carried quietly was never too complicated for my hand. I was not ignoring the questions. I was preparing your heart. I was strengthening the place that would one day be able to hear the answers without fear, without bitterness, without self-blame. So breathe, my child. Let this truth rest in you. I saw you then. I see you now. I heard what you whispered. I heard what you could not whisper. I was there when heaven felt silent, and I am here now as clarity begins to rise. Your questions did not disqualify you. Your confusion did not separate you from me. Your tears did not make you weak. They marked the place where I was already working, and what I preserved in silence, I will reveal in peace. My child, the truth was hidden because your heart was still healing. It was not denied. It was delayed. It was not buried to keep you in pain. It was covered to keep pain from becoming your teacher. There were details you wanted before you were ready to carry them. There were answers you asked for while your spirit was still shaking. There were things you begged me to explain while the wound was still open, while the memory was still tender, while one more detail would have sent you back into overthinking, back into fear, back into the place where you would have used the truth to hurt yourself. I knew what you wanted. I knew you wanted the full explanation. I knew you wanted the missing piece. The reason behind the change, the motive behind the silence, the meaning behind the delay, the truth behind what never made sense. I saw you wanting to know so badly that you thought knowing would bring peace. But my beloved child, there are moments when information does not bring peace to an unhealed heart. Sometimes it brings more questions. Sometimes it reopens what I am closing. Sometimes it ties you again to what I am removing. Sometimes it makes you chase what I am trying to deliver you from. That is why I covered certain things. That is why I did not let every hidden detail come into the light at once. That is why some answers came slowly, gently, piece by piece, and some did not come at all until the attachment was weaker, until the fear was quieter, until your identity was no longer hanging on the explanation. I was not playing with your heart. I was protecting it. I was not withholding because I loved you less. I was waiting because I loved you too deeply to hand you a truth your pain would have twisted into another burden. You wanted immediate explanation, but I wanted inner stability. You wanted the reason quickly, but I wanted your discernment clean. You wanted to know what happened around you, but I was first healing what happened within you. I was repairing the place that had begun to assume rejection before receiving revelation. I was strengthening the place that had learned to brace for disappointment. I was calming the place that believed every delay meant danger and every silence meant abandonment. Before I uncovered the matter, I had to recover your heart. Listen to me. It was not rejection. It was protection. It was not punishment. It was preparation. It was not silence. It was timing. It was not me ignoring your prayer. It was me answering in a way your wounded heart could not yet recognize. I did not expose everything while you were still bleeding because I knew you would have held the truth with trembling hands. I knew you might have looked at what I revealed and blamed yourself for what was not yours to carry. I knew you might have run after what I had already judged unsafe for your future. I knew you might have called it love when I was calling it limitation. I knew you might have called it opportunity when I was calling it obstruction. So I hid what mercy needed to hide. I slowed what love needed to slow. I closed what wisdom needed to close. You called it secrecy because you could not see the protection. You called it delay because you could not see the healing. You called it silence because you could not hear the quiet work I was doing beneath your questions. But I was there. I was there when you wanted to know. I was there when you felt shut out. I was there when you wondered why others seemed to receive answers faster than you. I was there when you asked me to show you, and then cried because I did not show you yet. Not every hidden thing was safe for you to see while you were still attached to the wrong interpretation. Not every answer would have helped you while fear was still speaking louder than faith. Not every revelation would have freed you while your heart was still trying to prove your worth through what stayed, who chose you, who understood you, or what worked out the way you hoped. I had to loosen your agreement with the lie before I gave you the facts. I had to restore your sense of being loved before I revealed what love was not. I had to settle your identity before I uncovered the truth about what could not remain. Because if I had revealed it too soon, you may have chased the very thing I was removing. You may have tried harder to reopen a door I was closing with mercy. You may have begged for what would have broken your peace later. You may have mistaken exposure for cruelty instead of recognizing it as rescue. My child, I know the difference between what satisfies your urgency and what protects your destiny. I know the difference between an answer that quiets the moment and an answer that heals the life. I was not working according to panic. I was working according to love. You thought you needed the truth first so you could heal, but I knew you needed healing first so you could receive the truth. I knew that when your heart became steadier, clarity would no longer crush you. I knew that when your spirit became grounded, revelation would not send you into shame. I knew that when your discernment became clean, you would stop calling every closed door a personal failure. You would stop calling every delay a denial. You would stop calling every unanswered prayer evidence that I had forgotten you. And now, even as I begin to reveal, I am doing it with tenderness. I am not throwing the past in front of you. I am not forcing you to relive what I have been helping you survive. I am bringing understanding in a way that settles you, not shatters you. I am letting light come where confusion lived, but I am also holding your heart while the light comes. You do not have to be afraid of what I reveal when I am the one revealing it. You do not have to collapse under truth when my hand is under you. You do not have to return to old fear just because new clarity is arriving. Receive this, my child. What was hidden was not always hidden from you. Sometimes it was hidden for you. Sometimes I covered the detail while I healed the wound. Sometimes I delayed the explanation while I restored the listener. Sometimes I kept the answer quiet until peace could sit beside it. And now the hidden formation is beginning to show. Before I revealed what happened around you, I was repairing what happened within you. Before I gave you the full picture, I was restoring the eyes that would see it without fear. Before I uncovered the truth, I was teaching your heart how to remain safe in my love. My child, the silence was preparing discernment, not proving distance. You thought the quiet meant I had stepped away, but I was teaching you how to know me beyond noise. I was teaching you how to recognize my nearness without needing constant signs, constant confirmation, constant emotional reassurance, or immediate explanations. I was training the deeper place in you, the place that does not live by panic, the place that can rest when circumstances have not yet changed, the place that can trust my hand even when my reasons are still hidden. The silence was not empty. It was a classroom. It was not abandonment. It was formation. It was not my absence. It was my instruction in a language your spirit had to mature enough to understand. There were moments when you wanted me to speak loudly, and I was teaching you to listen deeply. There were moments when you wanted a sign outside you, and I was strengthening the witness within you. There were moments when you begged for the door to open quickly, and I was teaching your hands to stop forcing what I had already closed. I saw the way the silence tested you. I saw the way your thoughts tried to run ahead of my timing. I saw the way fear wanted to interpret every delay as defeat. I saw the way your heart wanted to rush toward anything that gave temporary relief, even if it did not carry lasting peace. I saw you almost react. I saw you almost send the message. I saw you almost chase the explanation. I saw you almost reopen what had wounded you, because the unknown felt harder than the pain you already recognized. And I was there, gently holding you back, teaching you to pause before reacting, to pray before deciding, to wait before assuming, to breathe before calling something lost that I was still arranging. When the room was quiet, I was there. When the answer did not come, I was there. When you thought I had stepped back, I was closer than your breath. When your phone stayed still and your heart searched for reassurance, I was there. When no one knew how deeply you were wrestling inside, I was there. When you sat with questions that made your chest heavy, I was there. When you whispered, "God, where are you?" I was not far from the whisper. I was in the breath that carried it. I was in the strength that kept you from breaking. I was in the quiet restraint that stopped you from moving before wisdom was formed. My beloved child, I did not leave you in silence to confuse you. I allowed silence to expose what had been leading you. I allowed it to show you where fear was loud, where urgency was controlling, where your peace depended too much on immediate answers. Not to shame you, not to condemn you, not to prove weakness. I was showing you what needed healing so I could make you steady. I was teaching you that not every open door is mine, not every quick answer is wisdom, not every emotional pull is direction, and not every delay is denial. Patience was being formed in you quietly. Discernment was being sharpened beneath the surface. Humility was growing where control used to stand. Surrender was becoming more than a word you said in prayer. It was becoming a posture your heart could live in. You learned to stop demanding that every piece make sense before you obeyed the peace I had already given. You learned to step back from what confused your spirit. You learned to let closed doors remain closed without standing outside them, begging for a different answer. You learned that my silence does not make me less faithful. I know it did not feel like growth while it was happening. It felt like waiting. It felt like being overlooked. It felt like standing in a hallway between what ended and what had not yet begun. But small sacred changes were happening in you. You became slower to accuse yourself. You became less willing to chase what disturbed your peace. You became more sensitive to the difference between my conviction and the voice of fear. You began to notice when something looked right but did not carry my rest. You began to understand that confusion is not always a command to move. Sometimes it is an invitation to be still until I separate truth from emotion. Receive this now. The silence did not weaken you. It matured you. The unanswered season did not prove that I was distant. It trained your spirit to recognize me without needing everything explained first. You were learning to trust my character when you could not trace my activity. You were learning to believe my love when your circumstances did not immediately comfort you. You were learning to stand without clinging to what I was removing. This is discernment. This is maturity. This is the quiet strength I was building in you when you thought nothing was happening. And now, because discernment has been formed, I can reveal more without it pulling you backward. I can show you the difference between what was truly lost, what was mercifully removed, and what was never meant to stay. I can help you see the closed door without calling it rejection. I can help you remember the silence without calling it abandonment. I can help you look at what left and finally understand that not everything you mourned was meant to carry your future. The silence prepared you for this. The waiting strengthened you for this. The hidden classroom has done its work, and now clarity can come without stealing your peace. My child, what left was not always a loss. Some of it was rescue. Some of what you cried over was my hand moving with mercy. Some of what you begged me to restore was something I was refusing to let destroy the healed season. I was preparing for you. I know you did not see it that way when it happened. I know it felt like abandonment. I know it felt like rejection. I know it felt like the ground shifted beneath you, and you were left holding questions with no place to put them. But I saw what you could not see. I saw where it was leading. I saw what it was costing you. I saw what would have happened if I allowed it to stay. You called it loss, but I called it rescue. You called it rejection, but I called it redirection. You called it the end, but I called it separation for your survival. You called it silence, but I called it protection. You called it disappointment, but I called it deliverance from what could not carry your future. I did not remove it because I forgot how much you cared. I removed it because I knew what your care was being tied to. I knew the attachment was beginning to drain strength from the very place I was trying to heal. I knew that what felt familiar to you was not always safe for you. I knew that what comforted your emotions for a moment was quietly disturbing your spirit. I saw the relationships you wanted to keep because they once felt like home, but I also saw the hidden weight they placed on your heart. I saw the conversations that left you confused. I saw the affection that came mixed with uncertainty. I saw the way you tried harder to be understood by people who had already decided not to honor the fullness of who you were becoming. I saw the moments when you made yourself smaller to keep peace. I saw the way you questioned your value after being around what should have strengthened you. I saw it, my child. I was there. I was there when you left the conversation smiling on the outside but heavy within. I was there when you told yourself it was not that bad, while your spirit knew something was not right. I saw the opportunities that looked like answers but carried hidden compromise. I saw the doors that appeared open but would have required you to abandon the peace I had been building in you. I saw the plans that seemed promising but were connected to pressure, striving, confusion, and fear. I saw familiar places you wanted to remain in because they made you feel safe, even though they no longer had room for who you were becoming. Not everything familiar is fruitful. Not everything available is assigned. Not everything that invites you forward is sent by me. Some things can look like progress and still pull you away from peace. Some doors can open widely and still lead you into a narrower version of yourself. So I closed what you would have kept open too long. I ended what you would have kept explaining. I interrupted what you would have kept excusing. I allowed distance where you would have kept reaching. I allowed silence where you would have kept negotiating with what was already showing you its limits. This was not cruelty. This was not punishment. This was not me taking joy in your grief. This was my protection moving before your understanding caught up. I was not asking you to pretend it did not hurt. It did hurt. The grief was real. The ache was real. The disappointment was real. You are allowed to admit that. You are allowed to say that it wounded you. You are allowed to say that you did not want it to end the way it ended. But hear me clearly. The fact that it hurt does not mean the removal was wrong. The fact that you cried does not mean I should have let it stay. The fact that you missed it does not mean it belonged in your future. The fact that you loved it does not mean it could carry the life I am preparing for you. Sometimes your heart grieves what your spirit is being delivered from. Sometimes your emotions reach back for what your discernment has already outgrown. Sometimes you mourn a place, a person, a plan, or a possibility, not because it was still assigned to you, but because your heart had not yet caught up to my protection. I saw motives you could not see. I saw outcomes you could not predict. I saw where certain patterns would lead if they continued. I saw the repeated confusion. I saw the hidden control. I saw the subtle draining of your confidence. I saw the way your identity began to bend around someone else's approval, someone else's absence, someone else's inconsistency, someone else's inability to recognize what I placed inside you. And because I love you, I would not let your future be built on something that kept making you forget who you are. My beloved child, I did not remove what was healthy for your destiny. I removed what could not go with the healed version of you. I removed what kept touching the wound I was closing. I removed what kept pulling your mind back into old fear. I removed what kept making you perform for acceptance, explain your worth, doubt your discernment, and confuse anxiety with love. You thought you were losing something valuable, but I was preserving something sacred. I was preserving your peace. I was preserving your calling. I was preserving the quiet strength that had taken root in you through the silence. I was preserving the child I had been restoring beneath all that confusion. Now look again, not with the eyes of grief alone, but with the eyes I have been healing. Look at what left, and ask whether it truly gave you peace. Look at what closed, and ask whether it truly honored the person I was forming in you. Look at what ended, and ask whether it had the capacity to walk with the healed, steady, discerning version of you. I am not asking you to hate what left. I am not asking you to rewrite every memory as if nothing good ever existed there. I am asking you to let me tell the truth about what could not remain. Because once I removed what distorted your identity, I began restoring who you really were. Once I separated you from what kept confusing your worth, I began rebuilding the part of you that had grown tired from trying to be chosen, trying to be understood, trying to make something fit that I had already outgrown for you. The removal was not the end of your story. It was the clearing of space. It was the mercy before restoration. It was the closed door that made room for a healed heart to stand upright again. Receive this now. What left did not take your future with it. What closed did not cancel my promise. What ended did not end my care for you. You are not less because it did not stay. You are not rejected because it could not continue. You are not abandoned because I separated you from what could not carry you forward. You are being protected. You are being restored. You are being brought into a season where peace will matter more than familiarity, where alignment will matter more than attachment, and where you will finally understand that some of the things you mourned were never losses in my hands. They were rescues. And while you were trying to understand what left, I was restoring the part of you that confusion wore down. I was rebuilding the place in you that had grown tired from asking, was it me? Did I miss you? Did I hear wrong? Did I ruin what you were trying to give me? I saw how confusion did not only touch your circumstances, it touched your confidence. It touched your sense of worth. It touched the way you saw your own heart. It made you question your calling, your sensitivity, your ability to discern, your ability to hear me, your ability to trust yourself again. My child, I saw that. I saw the way disappointment tried to speak over your identity. I saw the way one confusing season made you wonder if you were no longer steady. I saw the way one painful ending made you question whether you had ever known my voice at all. I saw you replaying decisions, searching for the moment you should have known, the sign you should have noticed, the warning you think you ignored, the step you think you should have taken differently. I saw the burden you placed on yourself after something ended. I saw the shame that tried to wrap itself around your memory. I saw the fear that whispered, "What if I am deceived again?" But hear me clearly. You are still my child. You are not defined by what confused you. You are not disqualified by what you did not understand. You are not rejected because you were wounded. You are not less anointed because you needed healing. You are not less loved because you had questions. You are not a failure because you did not see everything at once. You are mine. That identity did not leave when clarity left. That identity did not weaken when your emotions trembled. That identity did not disappear when you made a decision from a heart that was still learning how to be whole. I was not standing over you disappointed. I was standing near you as a father. I was not measuring you by the confusion you survived. I was holding the place in you that confusion had exhausted. When you were tired from overthinking, I was there. When your mind kept building stories to explain what your heart could not settle, I was there. When you felt ashamed for caring too much, trusting too deeply, hoping too long, staying too patiently, or believing that something could become different, I was there. I did not mock your hope. I did not despise your tenderness. I did not turn away from your sensitivity. I began restoring it. Because your tenderness is not weakness. Your sensitivity is not a defect. Your desire to understand is not failure. Your heart needed healing, not condemnation. The enemy wanted confusion to make you suspicious of every good thing in you. He wanted disappointment to harden what I had made tender. He wanted one painful chapter to make you stop trusting the way I speak. Stop believing I guide. Stop opening your heart. Stop expecting goodness. Stop receiving love without fear. But I did not allow confusion to have the final word over you. I was restoring your inner ground before I revealed the outer picture. I was placing peace back where panic had lived. I was placing stability back where instability had shaken you. I was placing identity back where rejection had left questions. I was teaching you again that your value does not rise and fall with who understands you, who chooses you, who stays, who leaves, what works, what breaks, what opens, or what closes. Your worth is not hanging on the explanation. Your calling is not canceled by a confusing season. Your future is not fragile in my hands. This is why I did not rush the full explanation. Revelation without rootedness can become another burden. Truth given to an anxious heart can be turned into accusation. Clarity received by a wounded identity can become another reason to blame yourself, another reason to fear, another reason to rehearse what I am trying to heal. So before I connected every piece, I strengthened the one who would hold the pieces. Before I showed you the pattern, I steadied the heart that would see it. Before I explained what happened, I reminded you who you are. Receive this now. Peace is not a small gift. Stability is not a small gift. A secure identity is not something to rush past on the way to an answer. These are the gifts I was giving you in the hidden place. You thought the answer was the gift, but I was making you whole enough to receive the answer without breaking. You thought the explanation would restore you, but I was restoring you so the explanation would not control you. You thought clarity would make you safe, but I was teaching you that you are safe in me before every detail makes sense. And now you can look back differently. Not perfectly, not without feeling, not as if nothing hurt, but with steadier eyes. You can see what happened without becoming what happened. You can remember what confused you without surrendering your identity to it. You can acknowledge what wounded you without calling yourself ruined. You can admit that you did not know then what you know now and still remain covered by my love. My beloved child, I am restoring the part of you that stopped trusting your own spirit. I am restoring the part of you that became afraid to hope. I am restoring the part of you that thought one mistake had made you unsafe for my promises. I am restoring the part of you that kept asking whether I was disappointed. I am not disappointed in the child, I am healing. I am not finished with the heart, I am strengthening. I am not ashamed of the one I still call mine. So breathe. Let the old accusation loosen. Let the shame fall from your shoulders. Let the fear of being deceived again bow before the discernment I have been forming in you. You are not going forward as the same person who entered that confusion. You are steadier now. You are clearer now. You are more rooted now. And because I have been restoring you within, I can begin to show you what was happening around you. The scattered pieces are not as scattered as they seemed. The unanswered moments are not as empty as they felt. The delays, the closed doors, the silence, the removals, the tears, the pauses, the sudden restraints, the quiet checks in your spirit. I am beginning to connect them, not to pull you back into pain, but to reveal the pattern of my protection. Not to make you relive confusion, but to let you see that I was present in every part of it. Now the picture can come without stealing your peace, because before I revealed the full picture, I restored the child who would receive it. My child, the pieces are beginning to connect in my timing. Not in the timing of your fear, not in the timing of your urgency, not in the timing of the part of you that wanted every answer while the wound was still open. In my timing. in the timing that knows when your heart can receive truth without turning it into torment, in the timing that knows when revelation will bring peace instead of panic, in the timing that knows when you are ready to see my hand in places where you once only saw confusion. I am beginning to show you why certain prayers were delayed. I am beginning to show you why certain doors stayed shut no matter how hard you knocked. I am beginning to show you why certain people could not stay, why certain plans did not unfold, why certain conversations never gave you the closure you wanted, and why you had to grow in hidden places where no one applauded, no one understood, and no one could see what I was doing inside you. I was not wasting your time. I was not ignoring your tears. I was not withholding answers because I was cruel. I was aligning the revelation with your healing. Look closely, my beloved child. You are beginning to notice what you could not notice before. A small confirmation here, a sudden clarity there, a quiet peace where there used to be a storm, a memory that no longer controls your breathing, a question that no longer pulls you back into shame, a closed door that now looks less like rejection and more like mercy, a delay that now looks less like denial and more like protection. These are not random thoughts. These are not accidents. These are not emotional guesses. This is me gently connecting what once felt scattered. I am not showing you everything to reopen the wound. I am showing you enough to set you free from the wrong story you told yourself. I am showing you enough so you can stop calling yourself abandoned. I am showing you enough so you can stop believing you ruined everything. I am showing you enough so you can stop blaming your sensitivity, your hope, your patience, your love, or your desire to obey me. I am showing you enough so your heart can finally say, I was not forsaken there. I was being held there. I was being protected there. I was being prepared there. There were things you wanted to understand before you were ready to carry the understanding. There were truths that would have cut too deeply if I had revealed them while your identity was still trembling. There were motives you could not have seen without becoming suspicious of everyone. There were patterns you could not have recognized without accusing yourself for staying too long. There were answers that would have made you relive the pain instead of release it. So I covered what needed to be covered. I slowed what needed to be slowed. I allowed time to do a healing work that explanation alone could never do. Now your eyes are different. Your heart is different. Your spirit is steadier. And because you are steadier, what once would have shaken you can now instruct you. What once would have crushed you can now clarify you. What once would have trapped you in regret can now become evidence of my faithfulness. You can look back and see that I was not absent in the delay. You can look back and see that I was not powerless in the silence. You can look back and see that what did not open was not stronger than my will. It was submitted to my protection. Revelation does not always mean I expose every detail. Sometimes revelation means I give you peace about what you will never fully explain. Sometimes it means I show you the purpose without showing you every hidden conversation, every unseen motive, every private reason, every outcome I prevented. Sometimes revelation is not a full report. Sometimes revelation is holy understanding. It is the moment your heart no longer needs to know everything in order to trust me with everything. It is the moment you stop demanding that the past justify itself before you move forward. It is the moment you realize that my hand was enough, even when your understanding was not. I saw when you asked, why did it take so long? I saw when you asked, why did that door stay closed? I saw when you asked, why did they leave? I saw when you asked, why did I have to become strong in a place that felt so lonely? I heard every question. I held every question. And now I am answering some of them, not always with noise, not always with dramatic signs, but with a settled knowing rising inside you, with discernment, with peace, with the quiet recognition that what confused you was never outside my reach. Do not dismiss the clarity that is coming softly. Do not overlook the peace that arrives without spectacle. Do not ignore the way your perspective is changing. That is me. That is my spirit helping you see what grief once blurred. That is my love untangling the meaning of a season that pain misnamed. That is my hand putting light on the places where confusion wrote the wrong conclusion. You called it failure, but I was forming you. You called it delay, but I was preparing you. You called it loss, but I was rescuing you. You called it silence, but I was teaching you to know me deeper. My child, the picture is not coming together because you forced it. It is coming together because I said it was time. It is coming together because the healing has made room for truth. It is coming together because your heart can now receive clarity without being controlled by the pain attached to it. You are not seeing so you can go backward. You are seeing so you can walk forward free. You are not understanding so you can reopen old places. You are understanding so the old places can finally lose their power over your identity. Receive this now. The answer is not coming to punish you. The answer is not coming to shame you. The answer is not coming to prove that you should have known sooner. The answer is coming because you are ready to hold truth with peace. You are ready to see protection where you once saw confusion. You are ready to see preparation where you once saw delay. You are ready to see my mercy in the closed door, my wisdom in the waiting, my love in the removal, and my faithfulness in the hidden growth. And this is why clarity is coming now, because you are no longer the same person who first asked the question. Because you are no longer the same person who first asked the question, you are ready for the answer now. You are ready, my child, not because every feeling disappeared, not because every memory stopped mattering, not because you became untouched by what happened, but because I have made you steadier. I have made you less controlled by the sudden wave of emotion. I have made you less dependent on the approval that once felt like oxygen. I have made you more discerning, more anchored, more able to pause before reaching, more able to listen before reacting, more able to surrender what I do not explain, the moment your heart asks for it. There was a time when an unanswered question could shake your whole foundation. There was a time when a delay made you wonder if I had forgotten you. There was a time when silence felt like rejection, when a closed door felt like punishment, when someone's distance felt like a verdict over your worth. I saw that version of you. I loved that version of you. I did not despise the trembling. I did not condemn the need for reassurance. I knew your heart was wounded. I knew your spirit was trying to stand while carrying pain it had not yet processed. I knew you needed answers, because you were trying to use answers to feel loved. But now, my beloved child, something has changed within you. You still desire clarity, but clarity is no longer your God. You still want understanding, but understanding is no longer the only place where your peace can live. You still ask questions, but you do not ask them from the same desperate ache that once made you afraid of being abandoned. The old heart needed every detail to feel secure. The renewed heart knows it is held even before every detail arrives. The old heart said, "Explain this so I can believe you love me." The healed heart says, "I know you love me, and from that place, I can receive what you choose to reveal." Receive this now. That is maturity. Maturity is not pretending you do not care. Maturity is not acting as if nothing can touch you. Maturity is not becoming cold, guarded, suspicious, or hard to reach. I did not heal you by removing your tenderness. I healed you by purifying it. I did not make you numb. I made you anchored. I did not teach you to stop loving. I taught you to stop losing yourself in what you love. I did not teach you to stop hoping. I taught you to place your hope in me before you place expectation on people, doors, outcomes, or explanations. Do not mistake your steadiness for indifference. Do not call your peace weakness. Do not think that because you are not reacting the way you once reacted, something sacred has died in you. No, my child, something sacred has grown. The part of you that used to panic is learning to trust. The part of you that used to chase is learning to rest. The part of you that used to explain your worth is learning to stand in it. The part of you that used to fear being misunderstood is learning that I know you completely. The part of you that used to need immediate answers is learning to walk with me step by step. This is why the revelation can come now, because you can hear truth without turning it into self-hatred. You can see the pattern without collapsing into regret. You can recognize what was not for you without calling yourself foolish for caring. You can admit what was unhealthy without despising the part of you that hoped it would heal. You can let me show you what was hidden without using the revelation as another weapon against your own heart. That is growth. That is restoration. That is the fruit of the silent work I was doing while you thought nothing was changing. And if this word is touching the place in you that has been waiting for clarity, share it with someone who has also been standing in the space between question and answer. Let them know that delay does not always mean denial, and silence does not always mean absence. And if your heart can receive this, say it with faith. I am ready to receive truth with peace, not truth with panic, not truth with shame, not truth with fear, truth with peace, truth held by a healed heart, truth received by a child who knows they are loved. My child, I am not bringing clarity so you can return to old confusion. I am not revealing what happened so you can move backward into the same cycle of overthinking, replaying, blaming, and bargaining. I am revealing enough so you can walk forward lighter. I am revealing enough so the next season does not have to carry the weight of the last one. I am revealing enough so you do not enter the door. I am opening with the old fear, still speaking louder than my promise. You are ready because you have been changed. You are ready because your heart has been steadied. You are ready because you can now surrender what remains unfinished without calling it abandonment. You are ready because you can receive an answer without making the answer your identity. You are ready because you have learned that my love is not proven only by what I explain, but also by how I hold you while you wait. So stand here with a quiet heart. Let the old urgency loosen. Let the need to know everything bow before the peace of being known by me. The answer is not bigger than the one who kept you. The revelation is not greater than the love that prepared you for it. You are not who you were when the question first broke your heart. You are steadier now. You are clearer now. You are more rooted now. And because of that, you can walk into what comes next without carrying the confusion that once tried to define you. Do not carry old confusion into the door I am opening, my child. Do not take the dust of the last season and spread it across the threshold of the new one. Do not let what I have finally made clear become another chain around your thoughts. I am giving you understanding so your feet can move, not so your mind can build another room inside the past and live there again. I am bringing light, not to pull you backward, but to guide you forward. Walk forward slowly if you must, but do not walk backward into confusion. I did not reveal this to trap you in the past. I revealed it to free you for what is next. I did not let the pieces connect so you could return to the same pain with new language. I did not let your eyes open so you could chase every missing detail, confront every unanswered person, reopen every closed door, or demand that everyone finally explain what I have already released you from. My child, revelation is not an invitation to obsession. Revelation is an invitation to freedom. There will be a temptation to go back and ask one more question. There will be a temptation to replay one more conversation. There will be a temptation to search through old messages, old memories, old patterns, old places, old doors, looking for proof of what I have already settled in your spirit. Do not confuse curiosity with obedience. Do not confuse closure with control. Do not confuse the desire to understand everything with the peace I am offering you now. Some doors are closed because I closed them. Some answers are quiet because the full detail is not necessary for your healing. Some people do not need to speak again for you to be free. I know the part of you that wants the final sentence. I know the part of you that wants someone to admit what happened. I know the part of you that wants the apology, the explanation, the confession, the missing piece that would make the whole story feel complete. I saw that ache. I do not dismiss it. I do not call it small. But hear me, my beloved child. Your peace cannot depend on the honesty of someone I already moved you away from. Your healing cannot wait for the mouth that wounded you to finally say what your spirit has already discerned. Your future cannot be held hostage by a conversation that may never come. So forgive where forgiveness is needed. Release what cannot be repaired. Lay down the need to punish yourself for what you did not know then. Stop accusing yourself for loving with the information you had. Stop condemning yourself for hoping before the pattern was clear. Stop rehearsing the thought that you should have seen it sooner, should have left sooner, should have spoken sooner, should have known sooner. I was not late in protecting you. I was not late in teaching you. I was not late in revealing what your heart was finally ready to carry. My timing has not failed you. Do not turn new understanding into new shame. Do not say, now that I see it, how could I have missed it? Say instead, now that God has shown me, I can walk differently. Do not say, I was foolish. Say, I was healing. Do not say, I lost too much time. Say, even there, God was preparing me. Do not say, I cannot trust myself again. Say, my discernment has been restored by the one who never left me. The enemy wants revelation to become accusation. I am giving it as liberation. This is the moment to choose peace-filled obedience. Not loud obedience. Not frantic obedience. Not obedience that needs everyone to understand why you are moving on. Quiet obedience. Steady obedience. The kind that closes the door without hatred. the kind that forgives without returning to bondage, the kind that blesses without rebuilding what I dismantled, the kind that says, I trust you enough to move forward, even if every detail is not explained. That is not weakness. That is maturity. That is freedom. That is a heart no longer governed by confusion. If I have released you, do not keep asking the past for permission to go. If I have opened a door, do not stand in front of it, holding conversations with what I removed. If I have given you peace, do not trade it for another search through what wounded you. The old season may still have echoes, but an echo is not a command. A memory is not a master. A question is not a chain. You are not required to obey every feeling that rises. You are not required to revisit every place that once had power over you. You can feel the memory and still choose the future. You can acknowledge the ache and still walk forward. I am not asking you to pretend nothing happened. I am asking you to stop letting what happened direct your steps. I am not asking you to deny the pain. I am asking you to deny confusion the authority to name your future. I am not asking you to rush. I am asking you to follow, one step with peace, one step with trust, one step with your hands open, one step without the old story wrapped around your identity. My child, what I am opening will require a lighter heart, not a perfect heart, not a heart that never remembers, a lighter heart, a heart that has stopped dragging old fear into new grace, a heart that no longer expects every open door to become a trap, a heart that no longer measures my faithfulness by the wounds of people who did not know how to handle what I placed in you. I am teaching you to enter without suspicion, to obey without panic, to receive without bracing for loss. So let the revelation do its holy work, and then release it into my hands. Let the understanding settle, but do not worship it. Let the lesson remain, but do not keep the wound open to prove you learned it. Let the door behind you close without needing to slam it. Let the door before you open, without demanding that the past bless your departure. I bless your departure. I bless your healing. I bless the steps that are coming. And now this message is moving from explanation into surrender. Now I am calling you not only to understand, but to receive. Receive the peace that completes what revelation began. Receive the release that your heart has been waiting for. Receive the courage to stop circling what I have already answered. Receive the grace to forgive, the strength to let go, and the steadiness to walk forward as my child, not confused, not condemned, not abandoned, free. Receive the peace that makes the revelation complete, my child. Receive it now, not as an idea, not as a sentence you admire, not as a moment that touches you and then disappears, but as a holy settling in the deepest place within you. Let my peace come into the rooms of your heart where confusion has been sitting too long. Let my peace enter the memories that still tremble. Let my peace touch the questions that used to pull you into fear. Let my peace stand between you and the old story, and let it say, you do not belong there anymore. So now, breathe slowly. Do not rush past this moment. Do not treat this as the ending of a message when I am making it the beginning of a release. I am here with you. I am near to you. I am not far from the place that aches. I am not absent from the part of your story that still feels unfinished. I am not withholding peace until every detail is visible. I am offering peace now, even while some things are still unfolding, because my presence is not proven only by complete explanation. My presence is proven by the quiet strength that rises in you when you should still be afraid. But somehow you can rest. Now let us pray from the place where your heart is ready to surrender. Father, settle this heart. Settle the thoughts that have been running in circles. Settle the emotions that have been stirred by what is being revealed. Remove fear from the revelation. Remove shame from the understanding. Remove the anxious voice that says this clarity has come to accuse. Let this child know that what you reveal, you also heal. Let every hidden place touched by confusion now be touched by your peace. Let every wound that formed around unanswered questions begin to soften under your love. Let every part of this heart that has been bracing for more pain finally exhale. Heal the places confusion wounded. Heal the place that thought delay meant abandonment. Heal the place that thought silence meant rejection. Heal the place that blamed itself for not seeing sooner. Heal the place that carried questions like burdens and memories like chains. Heal the place that learned to expect disappointment. Heal the place that became suspicious of joy, suspicious of open doors, suspicious of love, suspicious of rest. Let divine clarity come without panic. Let truth arrive without torment. Let understanding become freedom, not another reason to remain bound. And now, my beloved child, speak this with your heart. Even if your voice is quiet, even if tears come, even if part of you is still learning how to believe it, let these words rise as an agreement with what I am doing in you. I release the wrong story. I receive divine clarity. I am not abandoned. I am being guided. What God reveals, He also heals. Say it again where the wound can hear it. I release the wrong story. I receive divine clarity. I am not abandoned. I am being guided. What God reveals, He also heals. You do not need to understand everything at once to be safe in my hands. You do not need the whole picture today to trust the one who is holding tomorrow. You do not need every person to explain themselves before you can be free. You do not need every missing piece before you can move forward in peace. Surrender the need to gather every detail. Surrender the need to control the timing of every answer. Surrender the fear that if you do not figure it all out, you will be hurt again. I am teaching you a deeper safety than control. I am teaching you to rest in my guidance. Receive the peace that proves I am present even before the full picture is visible. Receive the peace that does not depend on an apology. Receive the peace that does not depend on a conversation. Receive the peace that does not depend on going back and reopening what I have closed. Receive the peace that lets you walk forward without demanding that the past give you permission. Receive the peace that says, God was there, God is here, God is leading me next. My child, if there is an area where you still need clarity, healing, protection, or courage to accept what I am revealing, bring it into the light. Do not hide it. Do not carry it alone. Leave your prayer request in the comments, and let this become a place where hearts are no longer pretending they are fine while silently asking for help. Write the place where you need my peace. Write the area where you need discernment. Write the door you need courage to walk through. Write the wound you are asking me to heal. I see it before you type it, but there is power in surrendering it. And if this word spoke to your hidden season, if it found the question you were afraid to say out loud, if it gave language to what I have been doing quietly within you, then receive it fully. Like this message as a sign that your heart is agreeing with peace. Share it with someone who needs peace after confusion. Someone who has been waiting for answers. Someone who needs to know that delay was not abandonment and silence was not absence. Subscribe for more messages of divine timing, healing, restoration, and the quiet ways I prepare what I am about to reveal. And before you go, comment these words with faith. The hidden things are becoming clear, and I receive God's peace. Let that be your declaration. Let that be your release. Let that be the sound of the old story losing its hold on you. The revelation is complete when peace is received. The answer has done its work when your heart can rest. So go forward now, my child, not carrying the confusion, not clinging to the wound, not fearing what comes next. You are not abandoned. You are being guided. What I reveal, I also heal, and my peace will go with you.